All right, looks like we are live. Yeah, today we're going to talk about Rumi. Um, I think I've mentioned Rumi, but I haven't really gone into exactly what I like about his ideas. I've read a few poems by him, but I'm in no means an expert. But from what I've read, I very much enjoyed it, and I think he is someone that I'm definitely going to study some more at some point. So figured I'd introduce Rumi to you guys and maybe inspire you to pick up some of his poems. Mm.
The 13th century Sufi mystic Jalal ad-Din Muhammad Rumi, also known as Mevlana or simply as Rumi, observed that all phenomena of nature are bound together by love. Love is what keeps planets orbiting their stars, stars encircling the centers of their galaxies, and electrons revolving around the nucleus of an atom. Love is the force that keeps us together and moving, and immerses an otherwise cold world of matter with warmth. Within the Islamic
So it sounds like a very far out there idea. This is something that Huxley kind of put together with every other religion is the idea that some force holds us all together. And why shouldn't it be love? Why shouldn't it be this idea?
mystic branch that is known as Sufism, love is seen as a divine essence, and only through the path of love we can see the truth and become one with the whole, like a
So I'm assuming that Rumi's going to say something similar. From what I've read, this is going to be spot on. But this is how Osho described love as openness. So when you think of love in this context, think of the ability to be yourself. Who are the friends that we like the most? Who are the friends that we have the deepest connection with? It's always the people that we can be ourselves around. When you can be unabashingly yourself around someone else, that's truly the greatest gift and that's truly the greatest experience you can have. And why I say this is important is because think of most people, myself included, for the longest time, it was very difficult for me to open myself up. It was very difficult for me to be myself, to let down my barriers, to let down my guards because I had been hurt in the past, whether it was romantically, whether it was friendships betraying me, whether it was my parents doing something to me, or, just me not feeling safe. And the truth is, the only way we can ever experience any sort of connection is when we drop all of our safeguards, when we drop all of our walls.
drop that becomes one with the ocean. But love is not something to be found outside of us in the material world. The divine essence, something that goes beyond the ego and the senses, lies already inside us, at the core of our being. It's a force that the intellect cannot comprehend, and therefore our minds cannot search nor perceive it. But we can taste it. And it can only be revealed if we find freedom from what tethers us to the world of matter, and
Can you guys hear me? I don't know what this is. Because my mic is my I can't hear myself. My computer is like overheating right now. So let me know if you can or can't hear me. But
remove the barriers that separate us from a boundless ocean of love. Divine love, therefore, isn't a matter of obtainment, it's a matter of letting go. Through a mystical journey called Sama,
it's not a matter of attainment, it's a matter of letting go. Think of full presence. Think of full understanding. Think of the idea that when you accept someone for what they are, and you don't try to force them to be anything else except them, that's when they can give you all of themselves. That's when you can not judge someone for who they are. It's acceptance.
Rumi ascended from the material world of form to the divine through love, which was assisted by higher forms of communication and ritual. He encouraged his followers to use music to focus on their whole being.
Okay, that's so much better. Okay.
And the divine. And the Sufi whirling dervishes use their ritual dance as a meditation practice. But Rumi is perhaps most famous for his expressions in poetry, which mainly revolves around opening ourselves up to divine love, so we can find union with what we could call God. To cover Rumi means to cover his mystic teachings, his religious views, the Sufi tradition and its role within Islam, his works of prose and poetry, and more, which is too much information for one video.
I've had this book for so long, but I just haven't picked it up. I've read a few of his poems, but I haven't done like a deep dive into his exact. But I think after watching this, I'm gonna definitely
So this video
pick it up.
explores Rumi's outlook on love. It serves as an interpretive work based on a selection of Rumi's poems. Rumi's poems are still widely read by both religious and non-religious people.
I think Rumi is like the best-selling poet in America. I think he is.
It's not uncommon that when one is touched by the depth of Rumi's words, one experiences a sense of liberation from the things that usually concern us deeply. Things like wealth, physical beauty, power, social status, and even people. Throughout our lives, the love we may experience towards such things doesn't seem what Rumi points to in his poems, even though it may look like it for someone without any knowledge of mysticism. He describes love as it's a passionate affection between lovers who are enamored with one another. Rumi himself, as the author, seems profoundly in love, just not with a physical human being, but with something.
He's in love with life or in love with God. Think of it that. Like, there's an overwhelming feeling of when you belong in this, you love everything. And that's this idea.
Else, something higher, something that the mind cannot comprehend and words cannot describe. Know that my beloved is hidden from everyone. Know that she is beyond the belief of all beliefs. Know that in my heart she is as clear as the moon. Know that she is the life in my body and my soul. End quote. When we think about love, we mostly think about mutual affection between two people. There can be all kinds
If you're a Christian, think about the Holy Spirit. It's the idea he's talking about.
of variations of this, of course, and plenty of people also experience a strong love towards objects or animals. What characterizes this form of love is that there's always something outside of us necessary to fulfill it. Therefore, we are often on a quest for love. We search and look, hoping that we'll
As Lao Tzu said, the further you go to seek, the further you are from your answer. We need it, we already have. Everything we're looking for wants us more than we want it. And we do ourselves a disservice by seeking external things. If something's meant to happen, it'll come to you.
find that special person that can make us whole. But once we think we found it, it slowly becomes clear that this is not it. Nevertheless, strong attachments form, and when we're separated from what we love, we discover that what we believe is love is very close to dread, sadness, and agony. This is not the love that Rumi is talking about. However, when we experience the agony of heartbreak, a door to true divine love opens. The agony of lovers burns with the tire of passion. Lovers leave traces of where they've been. The walking of broken hearts is
Walking of broken hearts is the doorway to God.
the doorway to God. End quote.
See, what's even more impressive about this is these are translations, so there's some meaning lost in the translation. And that's what always interests me. Like when you read stuff like this and it moves you and you don't even speak the original tongue, I can only wonder what the true depth is, what the true intention is. And this is something that like I feel like I'm gonna pick up later on in life, like learning language. I know it's very difficult to learn language later on in life, but I think it's going to be worth it to read um, works of read Faust in German, read Nietzsche in German, read Jung in his he wrote mostly in German. Um, Reading things in the native tongue, I think it's going to be something I pick up when I get bored of reading English.
When reading Rumi, it becomes clear that his intense love leads him into the union with the ultimate reality. This reality cannot be put into words, but humanity has given many words to it. God, Allah, Tao, emptiness. But these are just words to indicate the same thing. Sufi mystics aim to transcend the mundane, to unite with the divine.
Sufi is the esoteric branch of Islam.
Which can only be done if they
I
give
think
up
the
their
Sufis characterize love the best out of any mystery school.
quest for love in the world of matter. When we finally find someone to love after a long search, our next concern becomes this: will it last? Romantic love, even though it can be profound and deep, rarely lasts. The objects of our love, whether they are people or stuff, come and go. Our affection towards them fades with time. And when that happens, we have to find something else to love. When love is based on attachment and possessiveness, it becomes a source of anger, disappointment, hate, and sadness.
So the problem with most modern relationships, the problem with most relationships in general, is everyone is looking for more than they're getting. So like people are looking for all of their happiness in this other person. People are looking for their problems to be solved. The truth is you have to solve your problems and give more than you're asking in return. And that is the only way you can truly devote yourself to someone. That is the only way you can truly express the love that you have for the other person. And it's a very backwards world we live in that people just give up. People don't even try. People will point the finger at the other person and never acknowledge that the true problem is looking them in the mirror. Because the fact is, every relationship you are responsible for. Every relationship that you've been in that failed, you are to blame. Maybe not 100%. Maybe the person screwed you over. Maybe the person did something really wrong. But you're telling me that in every single situation, you acted extremely mature. You did everything as you should have. You never gave into emotion. You never did anything to upset the other person. And when you look at things from this light, then it becomes clear the work that you need to do. You need to fix yourself so that you can be a benefit to this person's life, so that you can lift them up, so that you can give them the same happiness you have. You shouldn't look to someone else for happiness. You should be already happy. What's up, X before YZ? How's everything, man? Hold on, I can't really see the chat. You don't have time? Wow. Not making time for me is crazy. How's it going though? You got a lot of work to do or something?
This kind of love is conditional. According to
What
Rumi,
class?
love is always unconditional. Anything else that we recognize as love is about control, and the conditions that such love is bound to are fickle.
Anything that we recognize is control. This is this is a very weird idea. Think about marriage. Think about like I would say for most people, their wedding day is the peak of their relationship. And this should be the exact opposite. The wedding should be the beginning. I mean, maybe I guess you're dating before, but the wedding should not be the end all be all. It should not be the climax. The climax should be the final moments you guys spend together. Everything should be building. Everything should be growing. Um, it's a weird idea to me that like people get married and that's it. People get married and there's there's no spark left. There's no want to be better. There's no want to grow. There's stagnation, and then people wonder why things don't work out. If you don't grow with the other person, if you don't change into a better person every single day, then of course things aren't going to work out. Of course things are going to only get worse. Everything's in a state of flux and everything is slowly decaying or slowly growing. So if you're relying on the past, if you're relying on what was, then tell you what, it's never going to be the same. Things will never go back to the way they were. Things can only become new. Things can only become something either worse or better. And sometimes we just have to face that reality.
It needs constant nourishment, like a fire that goes out quickly when you don't pour enough gasoline on it.
I believe you asked before what.
In his poems, Rumi points to a form of love that is inexhaustible and burns within every one of us and never ceases, and it's the essence of our being. Contrary to romantic love, this love is like a fire that doesn't need gasoline to keep burning. It's an inexhaustible, eternal force that's always there. Rumi tells us that not everyone will reach it, and many don't even know it exists, and ridicule those who do. As a mystic, he has tasted it many times, and he kept coming back.
All right, so what he's talking about is the heart chakra. Um, the idea he's about to put forward here is a very interesting one. It's the ability to see yourself in others. It's the ability to appreciate other people's individuality. It's the ability to love even your enemy because you understand that you would be exactly the same if you were in their shoes. If you were raised in the same type of environment, if you had these same experiences, you would be exactly the same as this other person. And thus, it's your duty to love them. Thus, it's your duty to have compassion for them. Thus, it's your duty to accept them for who they are and hope that they can, you know, be guided to a better path.
For more and was willing to give up the worldly life for it. Giving up possessions, the people we're attached to, our preferences, our social status, to get something better in return seems inconceivable. But this is what a
When you're saying giving up your attachments, most people take this as the pure ascetic path where you become a monk, where you become or where you give up all your material possessions. And for most people, I don't think this is realistic. So what I want you to start doing is dropping your attachments, dropping your clinging to these things for a sense of self, for a sense of belonging, for a sense of this makes me who I am. It's like, who the fuck is Jeff Bezos if he loses all his money? I mean, I guess he's the guy that started Amazon. I guess he's this or that, but like, is Bezos someone that can build it back up? Is Bezos someone that can, you know, work his way from scratch? And maybe he was a bad example because he probably is someone that can work his way back up. But like, think about athletes that peak for a short amount of time and they're out of the league, and then for the rest of their lives, they're talking about what they once were. It's if you're defined by your achievements, if you're defined by your success, if you're defined by your money, then you're a flawed person because these things can be taken from you. The only thing that can't be taken away from you is your soul. I guess you can willingly give it up by making certain decisions in your life, but the only thing that remains, the only thing that stays, the only thing that is permanent is who you really are. Is who you are stripped away of everything that this world can bestow upon you. And that's what he's saying. It's be okay with the impermanence of things. Money will come and go. There will be ups and downs. It's who you are in spite of these circumstances, these facts that mean much more.
mystic is willing to do, as opposed to those that only concern themselves with worldly pleasures. When we're solely concerned with the world of matter, we're occupied with looking for gasoline to keep the fire burning. And it's that very search that blinds us from the limitless source that lies hidden inside of us. This inner ever-burning fire isn't just our ability to love.
Seeking externally for what we have internally. This is what Plato said, self, or the Oracle of Delphi said, know thyself. Nietzsche's idea of self overcoming. When you seek nothing, you have everything. When you seek everything, you have nothing. It's the paradox among this. It's the idea put forward in Walden where Thoreau goes out and lives in the woods, and because he lives with little to nothing, that little to nothing means everything to him. It's the inherent paradox of less is more.
love without conditions. It's also a path to receiving love. It's a path to Rumi's ultimate beloved, which he refers to as God. The love of God is not possessive and conditional. It's patient, accepting, equanimous, merciful, constant.
Love of God is the love of light. So what do I mean by this? It's the acceptance of your lot in life. It's the acceptance of the circumstances. It's the acceptance of the impermanence and the flow of things. It's losing yourself in the process. It's losing control. There was a I don't remember if he was a mystic or monk or a guru. I don't remember the exact title, but I saw some quote and it was the person was saying that like meditation is losing your control over the world. It's allowing life to take over. It's allowing things to go according to whatever it is that dictates the will of things, whatever it is that controls what's going to happen next, allowing it to take over instead of trying to force what you want into the world. That's what Rumi's talking about. This is the love he's talking about. It's the acceptance of whatever it is that's going to happen and smiling for the blessing that's going to come upon you.
You wait, patiently, looking into my intoxicated eyes. You accept my passion with the serenity of love. You are the master of existence. One day I shall be a lover like you. End quote.
Yeah, what I just said, it's the acceptance of everything that's going to happen to you and knowing that it's going to work out for you perfectly. Knowing that whatever happens to you is happening for a reason. The bad that comes means that there's going to be some good. The good that comes means that you can appreciate it. And as Khalil Gibran said, that the deeper your sorrows, the greater your joy. Every sorrow deepens your joy.
Wouldn't it be great to have access to such a boundless source of love that's always present and that doesn't discriminate based on preferences? What if we could radiate love without limits, without the need for fuel, and receive it back as well? According to Rumi, this is available if we open ourselves up to it. It's in everyone and accessible to everyone.
I think I think the Sufis have a chakra system, and this is what he's talking about. He's talking about opening your heart chakra, meditating on the fact of everything is connected and everything is an extension of you, and thus you must love everything. You can meditate with that idea and fixate on this part of your body or this part of your body, you'll feel the love that he's talking about. Again, don't worry if you can't. It's not something that's easy.
I'm your lover. Come to my side. I will open the gate to your love. Come settle with me. Let us be neighbors to the stars. End quote. Rumi describes love as intoxicating to the point that he feels drunk and cannot discern between lover, love, and beloved anymore. He describes it as
So when he says intoxicated, he loses himself in this feeling. It's a presence, it's an awareness, it's a moving feeling that everything else is to exist.
warm, mysterious, profound, and wonderful. This indeed sounds like a passionate love that we experience when we fall head over heels with someone. When two people are in love with each other, everything else seems to fade into the background. It's like their worries and sorrows are washed away, and nothing exceeds the euphoria that these lovers evoke in one another. Surrender takes place, an act of giving oneself up to
Surrender means to drop everything, to drop your defenses, to drop your combativeness, to drop your judgments and put out into the world as a defense mechanism.
that person. And in this surrender, the mystic moves towards the union with the beloved. In this surrender, the mystic transcends the world of matter and goes into the realm of the divine. I am ready to forsake this worldly life and surrender to the magnificence of your being, Rumi stated, which implies that taking the path of love is a matter of letting go rather than obtaining something. Our attachment
So this is a very important idea. Love is the act of letting go. the act of. Think of the times in your life when you felt the most love for someone. Was it when you were judging them for who they were, judging them for a decision they made? Or was it when you were just accepting them for who they were, accepting them in that moment, being completely open, being completely receptive, having no judgments, having no ill will? This is the pathway to finding the full expression of the emotion we call love. It's acceptance. It's dropping your assumptions, it's dropping who you think that person is, and just being open to the experience of who they are.
to worldly life cause us to feel anxious,
This is
defensive,
like
and separate
it's the only way to understand the idea of love is to understand poetry. That's truly it. It's the meaning we can grasp in between the lines that gives us the truest sense of this idea. But if you think of love as openness, I think it's the simplest way. But again, most of the stuff just needs to be felt.
us from others. Thus, we build barriers to protect ourselves. But by doing so, we also separate ourselves from the very thing that we yearn for. These barriers are like a jar with some water in it, drifting in a vast ocean. It's surrounded by love, filled with love. But the jar itself is the reason why the ocean and the water imprisoned in the jar cannot merge. The water longs to be part of the ocean, and the
It's the barriers we put up. So it's the barriers we put up and the barriers other people put up. And these barriers come from all of the heartbreak we felt, all of the times we were let down, all of the times that we were betrayed. We don't want to feel that way again. And this is why so many people are ruined by relationships. This is why so many people never quite find the love that they need or deserve. It's because they can't drop what has happened in the past. They can't understand that just because someone else hurt you doesn't mean that this next person is going to hurt you. Doesn't mean that this next person is going to lie or cheat or steal or betray you. And that's really the true path forward. It's acceptance and understanding that who the person is in front of you isn't the person that hurt you. And it's a hard reality that you have to face. But I think it takes like many failed relationships before you're finally like, what I'm doing isn't working. What I'm doing needs to change. I need to give this person a chance. Like, how dare I judge this person before I've even given them an opportunity to let me down? Because the truth is, you're going to be hurt either way. If you don't open yourself up, you're going to be hurt because that relationship is going to suffer, because that relationship isn't going to flower and bloom into what it should be. If you open yourself up, then maybe the relationship goes wrong, but at least you gave it a chance. At least you allowed yourself to see if it was going to truly work instead of self-sabotaging.
ocean calmly awaits to receive it with kindliness. But to become one with the ocean, the jar has to go. Love is all around us and within us. Rumi states that we must die in this love, and if we do, our souls will be renewed. But we unknowingly reject this love because of the barriers we've built against it while looking for it in the wrong places. So we must cut off.
It's much easier to run from our problems. It's much easier to bury the pain and suffering than accept the reality that we we could have been better. We could have done more. We could have been more understanding. We could have got past our emotions. And it's only when you recognize your own faults that you can ever be happy in a future relationship. And I think this is the problem with most people in relationships is once it breaks down, they only blame the other person. They only say this other person was so awful to me. And the truth is maybe they were. Maybe they were a shitty person. But what did you do? Because we all have some degree of fault. We all have some degree of something we did that made the other person lash out, that made the other person in some way more angry towards us, less agreeable, less compassionate. Like when you can find your own faults through the roughest periods of your life, that's where you have the most transformations. And I truly think that a breakup can be the greatest thing for people or the worst thing. It can have someone hung up on someone that doesn't want them for years, or it could be the kick in the ass someone needs to really look at themselves and look at themselves in a negative light. Because believe it or not, people don't want to see who they truly are. People want to be the good guy in every story. People want themselves to be the hero. And if you're the hero in your own story, then you can never be wrong. You can never be bad. You can never do anything that is contrary to the goodwill of everyone, that's contrary to someone else. But when you see yourself and you see your actions and the real effects they have on others, and you're really honest about this, then you see like, you know what, sometimes I'm an asshole, sometimes I'm this, sometimes I'm that. And like if I really want to be happy, I can't put my baggage on other people. I can't put the things that have held me back onto someone else. I need to deal with my own shit first. And any happiness I get from anyone else, I can't be relying on it because that person's a person too. That person's not always going to be happy. That person's not always going to be giving me what I think I need. I need to give myself this fulfillment. I need to give myself this happiness. And only then can you move forward and move forward with confidence that the relationship you're going to get into is going to work. The love that you're going to feel is going to be real.
Of the chains that hold us prisoner and detach from worldly concerns so we can become whole. According to the wisdom of Rumi, we don't need to seek love, we just have to stop resisting it. But
You don't need
looking
to
at the
seek
devotion
love.
and
You just have to
continual
stop
practice
resisting
of the
it.
Sufi mystics, it's probably not an easy task.
Okay. I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back. What time is it? 9:42. I'll keep going a little longer. Um, I don't know. I feel like I've been in like a weird groove recently where like I'm not streaming at a consistent time. So I gotta get back in the swing of things. What is it? Oh, it's also Friday night, so no one's here. Um, yeah, we'll look for another video. These videos are all so long. Not suffer. Oh, this guy's page. This guy's pretty good videos.
Is being a loser
Sounds.
what if we would try not to think of a pink elephant?
This is the law of detachment, the law of assumption.
This probably won't work, because as soon as the pink elephant appears in our minds, it's impossible to get rid of it by consciously not thinking about it.
This is an idea from Neville Goddard. Neville Goddard says, try not to think about $100 bill. You just did. And this is one of the techniques Neville Goddard uses to trick yourself into changing your self definition. I want you to think of it this way. The way you carry yourself, the air of confidence you have, your success in life is so much determined by that because most of communication is nonverbal. So even if we believe that we're better than we are and we walk into a room, you don't have to say, "Oh, I think I can do this." People just know. And this has such a vast effect on our future that it's baffling to me that people don't embrace this idea and try to run with it, try to change their self definition, because the hardest thing of any accomplishment is first believing you can do it, is first accepting that you're worthy of it, because everything in your life has told you you're not good enough. Everything in your life has told you the opposite. So convincing yourself and allowing yourself to think like someone who's already done it, paint a picture in your mind that's so clear that you think it's already been done. Like these are things that if you can do on a daily basis, you're going to start becoming a different person. You're going to start embodying the person who you really should be. Because everyone deserves to be as successful as they want. Everyone deserves to have everything they want. Everyone can do it. It's just a matter of putting your mind to it and believing the right set of thoughts, the right set of self definitions, the proper I am, the proper understanding of your capabilities and your creative faculties.
And the more we try to get rid of it, the more it persists. The elephant simile is commonly used to show how difficult it is to get rid of intrusive thoughts by force. But we could also use this simile as a metaphor for how we approach dissatisfaction with life. The pink elephant.
The more you try to get money, the more you're going to dwell on the fact that you don't have it now, which is going to be a cycle of you trying, failing, and you solidifying in your mind that you don't deserve it because time and time again it doesn't come. And it's the acceptance of this idea. It's the acceptance that you have to get past the material results. Do something for the sake of doing it. Do something because you love doing it. Do something because it drives you, because it makes you happy. The results will come, the results will be there. But when you fall in love with the process, that's what really matters.
Elephant in this case represents our general dissatisfaction, which may manifest as negative emotions like sadness, stress, anger, or boredom. Ironically, the more we try to be less dissatisfied, the more dissatisfied we become. So could it be that this inclination to be so invested in becoming free from dissatisfaction, trying to be happy, trying to be content, is exactly the reason we aren't? Here we see the paradox of willpower, which is the basis of the law of reversed effort, also referred to as the backwards law by philosopher Alan Watts.
So this is Neville Goddard calls this the law of detachment, basically, that you must detach the external circumstances from the desired results. So believe that you're capable of doing it, embody that feeling, embody the emotions, but do not worry about the outcomes. The moment you start worrying about the outcomes is the moment that you kill all of your creativity, is the moment you kill all of your inspiration. And this is a very important idea because I feel like so many people are trying to do something, but so many people get discouraged when the result doesn't come. The fact is, you don't want the result. The result doesn't matter. What matters is if while you're chasing that goal, are you happy? Are you fulfilled? Is it fun? Because I promise you, like, if you're dissatisfied now, wait till you're successful. Because if you're unhappy with what you have right now, when you have more things and you're still unhappy, it's going to be a whole lot worse. Because nothing in this world is free. There's no such thing as a free lunch. Everything you receive has a proportionate amount of responsibility with it. You make more money, that means you have to work harder. You have a big house, that means you have to pay more taxes on it. That means you have to pay more landscapers. It costs more to maintain it. You have to make even more money than you used to. And it's this idea that I need people to embrace. I need you to understand that if you're not happy now, you never will be. Stop trying to be happy in the future. Try to be happy now. Try to love what you're doing right now. Try to embody the feeling that you have it in this moment. That is all you need. Forget about the results. Forget about everything else except losing yourself in what it is that you love doing.
What? The backwards law proposes that the more we pursue something, the more we achieve the opposite of what we truly want, and the more disappointed we feel. Or simply put, the harder we try, the less likely we'll succeed. On the flip side, when we stop trying, we'll have what we want. So if we want to stop thinking about the pink elephant, in this case, giving up our struggle and letting our desire to get rid of it dry out is the paradoxical solution. Instead of trying to remove the elephant from our thoughts forcefully, we let it dissipate by itself by leaving it alone. Now, how
This is what we should do with all of our problems. Your problems are only as big as you allow them to. Osho has this great idea. People can only insult you if you allow them to. And this is such a powerful statement that I need you to embrace the idea. I need you to embrace this and live with this concept, because truly your life is what you make it to be. Your life, the circumstances, the emotions you feel is directly proportionate to how you internalize things, to how you view things, to how you allow things to affect you.
How exactly does this backwards law work in practice? Or more specifically, how exactly do we get what we want by not trying to get what we want? This video explores the backwards law and its paradoxical nature, as well as the cause of our ongoing dissatisfaction in life and how we can liberate ourselves from it. How can we get what we want without trying to get it? This seems like an impossible and absurd way to operate, especially in a world where we're used to striving and putting effort into getting what we wish.
This is what Eckhart Tolle says. Feel like you have it now. Feel every sensation that you would experience when you get to that end goal, and you already have everything you need. When you get it, it's not going to mean anything. And that's the idea. If you really need something, then what you're doing is displacing your desire, displacing your true intentions. Any external fulfillment that we seek is misplaced self-confidence, is misplaced self self-discovery, we'll say. What I mean by this is anytime you go into the world and say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I got this job, I got this amount of money, I got this car, I got this house, what you're doing is seeking self-acceptance. What you're doing is seeking self-confidence by proxy through others. You want people to tell you you're so good because you have this, that then some way it proves to you that you're good, that you're a good person, that you're this, that you're that. And through that, you'll find happiness. It's so backwards. Meanwhile, if you put 1/10 of the effort into yourself, into your cultivation, into your mind, into your meditative practices, into your introspection, you would find everything you need and nothing else would matter. And that's the state I live in, and that's the state that I try to embrace as much as possible. Again, it's difficult sometimes, it's impossible sometimes, but with enough dedicated time, everything's perfect. Everything's amazing. I couldn't ask for anything more in life. And I say that without being hyperbolic. I say that without any sort of hesitation. In this current moment, you couldn't give me anything that would make me more happier than I already am. And I want you to be able to say that too. I want you to be able to find this reality, because this is the only path to fulfillment. This is the only path to a good life. If you spend your entire life seeking something, then you're not going to find it. Have you ever tried looking for something and no matter how hard you look, you can't find it? And the moment you give up, it's the moment it appears before you. This is that idea. It's the same thing with life. It's the same thing with happiness. What you're looking for is already under your nose.
Willpower is a viable solution to obtain things in the external world. For example, if we want to get rich in a monetary sense, it most likely takes effort to obtain a certain amount of money that will classify us as rich. And if we wish to run a marathon, we'll need to put in the necessary effort to build our stamina up to the point that we can run such a long distance. But the backwards law isn't so much about worldly achievements. If anything, it transcends them. It's about getting what we really, truly want.
Worldly achievements do nothing in comparison with what a complete soul does. Have you ever talked to someone that was extremely rich? Have you ever talked to someone that had everything that the world could give them? Most of the time, they're not happy. Most of the time, they have something to complain about. Most of the time, they're talking about this, they're talking about that. And the truth is, you don't need anything to be happy. You don't need a single penny. You don't need anything aside from yourself. I can't end it any better than that. Um, I'm kind of tired. Uh, I'll probably stream early in the morning tomorrow. I love you guys so much. Hey, you guys, peace out. I'll catch you in the next one.